Hi, my name is Stephen Walden, and I am Managing Director for Strativity in EMEA. I'm going to spend the next few minutes walking you through some of the key features and functionalities of Touchpoint Dashboard. So we all know the story. Various parts of the organization invest time and effort in mapping the customer experience on flip chart paper and post-it notes. Unfortunately, what tends to happen is this effort is wasted as charts are rolled up and put away in drawers, unactioned and gradually forgotten. Touchpoint Dashboard is a way by which this effort is not lost, but saved and shared among your multiple stakeholders with actions and outcomes tracked. As a digital platform, it acts as your single point of truth for customer journey mapping, enabling consistency and collaboration amongst those stakeholders, including, for instance, teams from service design, Lean, and Six Sigma, and process efficiency. Let's now have a look at the system. What you can see in front of you is the home page. Down the left-hand side, we have details of your most recent projects. Down the right-hand side, we have some thought leadership. The button at the top is your home page, and the bottom at the bottom left take you to a learning center, which hosts some excellent short videos, and your account details where you can add new members to your team. Along the top, there are 4 tabs. Let's now go to the first of these, the Customer Types tab. Customer Types is your library of personas and customer types that you can share with your team and apply to your journey maps, and other team members in collaboration with you, their journey maps as well. In other words, you only need to create them once for them to be shared. If we now look at Brian, just as an example, we can see that the data we hold on him tells us about his personality, his motivations, his goals, and any information we want to use to describe him. This persona is easy to edit using the pen function at the top left. And as you can see, this gives us access to rich text boxes where you can upload images, write text, and so forth. We can also easily add in new data, adding a new box with our detail, pressing done. And if we wanted to, we can add in an entirely new customer type or persona by just clicking the plus button. Here we can see, again, in the example of Brian, how many maps he has been applied to. We also spoke about the concept of customer types as well as personas. Think of a customer type kind of like the B2C visionary or the luxury enthusiast, a level a little bit higher than the persona. This then is your library. Let's now go to the Projects tab. The Projects tab shows us the projects we have been working on, and it's very easy to add a new project, add a new template, or add a new folder. For instance, adding a new project, just click here, give it a name. You can also apply the relevant template for that project. This is preloaded, for instance, with the Touchpoint Dashboard template that gives about 80% of the necessary fields you need to make this a very good and very data-rich journey map. If we to add this, we now have a completely blank canvas that represents the new map that you have created. How is this structured? We have the new project folder, and any new map we save comes underneath these dancing arrows, essentially showing the files or views within the folder. To add a touch point, it's very simple. We just click on the plus button. And if you remember what I was saying in terms of the dashboard template and how it adds in lots of data behind your touch point, we can see all this on the right-hand side. The data that sits behind this touch point is as follows. We can call it a name, a descriptor, we can tag it, we can add hypertext links, we have data that talks about the channel it's in, channel preference, we can add in verbatims, we can add in icons that show moments of truth, wow factors and so forth, and we can look backstage as well about people, process and tools. We can add in scores for Net Promoter Score, customer satisfaction, and we can add in information about this touch point around, for instance, time to fix, its level of priority, and its action planning status. All that data sits behind that touch point, and that data can be added to or changed, edited in any which way you would like. On the left-hand side, that merely shows what is shown on the journey map. For instance, by colors, we're showing channel colors and icon colors. So if we were, for instance, to put a moment of truth, a little star would show up there. It's also showing by channel. So if we were to say, call this a web touch point, it would turn green. We can also apply personas by clicking here, editing the map, and linking it to those personas that we saw in the library earlier. The map is almost infinitely flexible in many ways. We can, for instance, change by clicking Edit Map what the names of the columns are, what the rows are, what the colors are, and also here, likewise, apply different personas. Let's now go back and have a look at a completed journey map. We're going to have a look at an Amazon Alexa journey and its purchase. As we can see, this is a view of an Amazon Alexa purchase journey from the perspective of Pamela, the assigned persona. If we click on the dancing arrows again, we can see a large number of different views that we've applied. For instance, the journey view of Ramon, the journey map by emotion, and so on and so forth, including an all customers journey map, which doesn't apply a persona and just catches all the touch points that we have put in all maps. Let's now have a look at a few more tabs just to get our feel around what the capability of Touchpoint Dashboard is. The Journey tab shows in one view what you select to show in terms of touch points and fields. And this can be very useful if you want to go in and show your stakeholders not every single touch point, but one specific view, print it out, put it on laminated paper, use pictures, diagrams, make it look good, and helps you in your presentations. The Reports tab. This comprises essentially an Excel of all the data in terms of the field data that lie behind all your touch points on your journey map. This can be exported to your hard drive where you can work on it. You can add extra touch points in, you can change the fields, so long as those fields match the map that you have already on Touchpoint Dashboard, you can bulk load new data and import that back in to your Touchpoint map. Oftentimes what clients do is they keep the headers the same, which is highlighted in black, those can't change, export them, bulk inload data and import it back into Touchpoint Dashboard. We also have validation. Validation is essentially your survey function. So what this gives is if you go to your map, for instance, let's click a touch point. Let's click the validation tab. You can add it to a survey that you've already loaded into the validation field. And that'll appear as an extra touch point in that survey. So you assign the survey to your touch points, and then you can send that survey out to test whether that touch point is valid, what the quality of that touch point is, and make it a very specific survey so you can see what is happening and whether the touch points you've selected are validated by your customer or employee groups. The survey hasn't been completed. Of course, you can upload images, you can upload text, but its basic construction is a welcome page. You select the touch points you want. You put in a piece of text if no events are selected. You can order your touch points by different customers receiving the survey. You have an NPS question with verbatims. You have a touch point also have hard-coded questions on importance, effort, emotion, satisfaction, and verbatim, a thank you page, and finally the public survey link, which you can send out to your participants. And of course, you also have the survey report that says how things are going and to test response. The final tab I'd like to show is the Initiatives tab. This is a very important tab because this turns your touchpoint map, journey map into actions. You can assign actions to your team members. You can see who owns the action, who's been assigned to, the due date, the priority, and the status. So once again, relatively straightforward. We go to a touch point. We go to the Initiatives tab. We can attach that touch point to an initiative already existing or add an initiative. And then once we get that, we can assign a task to a user who you are collaborating with. You call the task a name, you give it a priority and a status. You can apply when that task is due. You can also apply that task across a number of touch points, save it, and then that will appear on your Initiatives reporting tab, and also an email will be sent out to yourself who's initiated this, and also the individual who is now assigned with that task to complete. So, in short, that is Touchpoint Dashboard. We've been through the persona and customer type library. We've been through the projects, the reports, and we've also seen extra, more advanced features in terms of initiatives, journey views, and survey validation. I hope that's useful to you, and thank you very much for your time.